It's time for another film room. And on this episode, I'm going to take a look at Nebraska cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt. If you're not familiar with what I do with these, what I like to do is showcase different game clips to highlight, to illustrate the type of prospect that, in this case, Cam Taylor-Britt from Nebraska is. And if you're not familiar with him, he is a fascinating corner who is probably going to go off in the second day of the 2022 NFL Draft. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the film. Now, the first thing that I want to highlight about Cam Taylor-Britt is just his ability to play in coverage. Now, Cam Taylor-Britt is at his best when he's in press man coverage, whether that's physical, jamming at the line press coverage, or more of the mirror match where you're just uptight and reacting. And that's what we see in this clip against Wisconsin. And Cam Taylor-Britt is able to just hesitate with him, and then turn and run to help prevent this completion. And we can see that here, he's just sitting on top, not making a move, waiting and letting the wide receiver make that first move. He's patient, and then as soon as he starts to go, he's able to flip those hips and turn and then use his speed to run with them. And I think this is where he's best suited because he's got that good speed, 4.38, 40-yard dash speed. He's patient, he's physical, and he can just react and then run with the receiver. So that's where I see him the best fit for him. Now, while I think playing in press coverage is Cam Taylor-Britt's strong suit, he's much more than just a scheme-dependent type player. Here against Purdue and during his time at Nebraska, he played plenty of off-man coverage. And here we see against Purdue, he's able to stay on top of this receiver. This is David Bell, who could go in the second day of the NFL Draft as well. And he's able to just stick with him and then run downfield with him. And this is all from off coverage. And he's able to just play off, still see and react, and then go up and then match up down the field. And you see plays like this, so it showcases he can play not only press, he can play off-man coverage. He can sit and play in some zone schemes too. His ability to react and make these moves with the receivers showcases his all-around ability as a cover corner. And then one last illustration of his coverage abilities. Here he is at the bottom of the screen. He played the right cornerback position for Nebraska. They didn't flip sides. They didn't play boundary or field. He didn't travel with certain receivers, but he showcases his speed. So they're going to run a little drag route here with David Bell, trying to do a little bit of a rub route right there. But because Taylor-Britt, because he's got that speed and that acceleration, he's able to just get right in his hip pocket. Even if he gives up a little separation, he is right there to make this tackle for maybe a yard gain. Now, the thing that I like most and that impresses me the most from Cam Taylor-Britt is he has elite ball skills. His ability to play the ball in the air, I think, is some of the best in this NFL draft. And this is indicated here against Minnesota. Minnesota's going to run Taylor-Britt's up here at the top. They're going to run a deep route, and he's going to get beat. And that's another thing. What I like about Taylor-Britt is he's got that recovery speed. As we can see right here, there's a good yard and a half separation between the receiver and him. But he's able to recover with that speed, but then he doesn't just run and try to get to the receiver and end up, not looking back and getting a flag thrown on him. He has to catch up, but he's also turning back to look. And as we see here, he's able to go up one-handed and bring that ball in for an interception. Not only did he save a touchdown, but he intercepted the ball, giving his offense the ball back. And yeah, he got beat, which isn't good, but it showcases that ability to say, hey, I messed up. I can recover with my speed, my length, and my ball skills. And yes, the ball was underthrown, but he was still able to make that play and turn the ball over. What I like about this play against Purdue, once again, he was matched up with David Bell, potential, probably a day 2 pick in the 2022 NFL draft at receiver. And he was, Bell's a little bit of a bigger receiver, likes to run a lot of slant type of those routes. And here we can see Taylor-Britt is able to use his length to break up this pass. So as the ball's coming, we see Taylor-Britt right there. He's able to just get his hand in. He doesn't have that hand on the back. He doesn't need to grab or anything. He's got those long arms that he's able to just reach in here and swat the ball away at the catch point and just, break up passes. You're going to throw to his side. There's a good chance that Cam Taylor-Britt, he's going to swat that ball away. All right, I've showed you his ability to break up the shorter passes, those in-breaking type routes, but he was a master at the deep ball. And we see that here against Purdue. He's going to stay on top, once again playing off coverage in this case against David Bell, and he's able to stay on top of him. But then as the ball's thrown, what I love here is he uses his body position. He pins the receiver towards the sideline, gets his eyes up, and then is able to go up and make a catch or break up this pass by getting his hands in there and disrupting this catch attempt. And it just shows that he's got this ability, that body control, the nuance. And it maybe wasn't the prettiest looking one, but it just shows that he's got this ability to just time the ball up in the air and just make plays, and just break them up. Now, as you can see, Cam Taylor-Britt got tested a lot against a lot of good receivers. Just showed you previous clips of David Bell. Here against Ohio State, he had to cover Chris Olave, who's a first-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. And on this play, what I love here is Taylor-Britt's just ability to go up and play that ball in the air once again. Olave had him on a in-breaking route, and Cam Taylor-Britt once again uses his athleticism to jump, not only to use that athleticism to jump and get in there, but that timing to be able to get up there and get that hand in the way to break up that pass is just, like I said, his strong suit in this game. Just, his athleticism, his timing, just the ability to go break up passes. Now, I showed you a play earlier where he was able to work downfield to break up a pass. Here's one more example of that. Ball, he's actually matching up with a receiver that wasn't in his zone, but just once again shows we talk about ball tracking with receivers, but Cam Taylor-Britt shows that ball tracking as a cornerback, and he's able to turn and get his eyes on the ball. That's the best thing about him. No matter if he's beat and he's trying to recover, whether he's in phase with the wide receiver, he's always looking up and finding that ball. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he has such good ball skills. And here he is. You can see this receiver's gotten behind, and he's able to just turn and go up and just swat that ball out. And he had plenty of plays like this throughout his career where he's just able to turn and leap up there, use his athleticism, use his length. He's got great length for a cornerback, and he utilizes that here to swat that ball from the grasp of the Michigan receiver and prevent the long catch. And then the last clip I want to talk about with his ball skills, it's one thing to go and dive in front of the ball to break it up downfield, but what I like about this play here against Michigan is not only does he save a touchdown, but he goes up and he rips this ball out. That ball's caught. That should be a touchdown, but he gets his hand in there and rips that ball out to save the touchdown. If it wasn't for Taylor-Britt, yeah, he got beat initially with his eyes in the backfield. And that's one of his weaknesses. He was able to go in, grab this ball, and just rip it out. And I just love that ability in him that he can just make plays. It doesn't matter if it's a deep ball and he's going to time it and go up and get it. If it's an inside short route and he's going to get his hand in to break it up, or in this case, just rip the ball out to save a touchdown. All right, this last clip that I want to show you is another thing that I love about Cam Taylor-Britt, and that is his physicality. He is a physical corner. He wants to create collisions, and I wish he would wrap up and tackle more consistently, but he loves to make contact. And here against Northwestern, they're just going to try and run a simple wide receiver. They've got 2 receivers out there, 1 corner, and so they're thinking this is easy pickings. Just throw the ball out, going to get 5-10 yards, whatever. And Cam Taylor-Britt had another story. And he just takes this other receiver and drives him all the way back to be able to make this tackle. And it just showcases Taylor-Britt's just physicality and his desire. When he went to the Senior Bowl, he was hitting guys. And he got a tooth knocked out. And he's like, I don't care. I'm still playing. And that's the toughness that he showcases on a game-in and game-out basis. Sometimes it can be to his detriment. Sometimes he gets too aggressive. Sometimes he wants to lay that body shot to knock you down and he doesn't wrap up. But he's got that physical nature. He's got that swagger to him, and that allows him to make plays like this. There is definitely a lot to like about Cam Taylor-Britt. And as I said, here's a guy who has been projected to be a day 2 pick. I think he's probably going to be a 3rd-round pick. I wouldn't be shocked if he slipped into the tail end of the 2nd round. I guess I would be a little surprised if he fell to the 4th round, but it wouldn't be earth-shattering. But he, like I said, he's a physical corner that I think is best suited to be in a press man system. I think he can play in other systems, but I think if you put him in that Seattle-style cover 3 press man defense, that's where he's going to thrive, because he's got, that's where he's best suited. He's got that patience and that mirror match. He might not be a true physical press you at the line, knock you off. He can do that, but I think he's best in that mirror match where he can kind of play up tight, let you make that first move, and then he can flip those hips, turn, and run with you. He's got good speed at 4.38, so he can run with receivers. He's only 5'10.5", but he plays much longer because of his length and because of his athleticism. If he is trailing just a bit, he's got that length, as I showed you in the clips, to be able to jump up, use that length to swat down the balls. I think he could play in off or zone man coverage, or off man coverage or zone also. But I think, like I said, that cover 3, teams like Seattle, I think the Jets, the 49ers. The 49ers are a team a lot of people mock Cam Taylor-Britt to. So I think those would be great fits for him. He can also play some safety. He started his Nebraska career as a safety before moving outside to corner. I think he could thrive in today's NFL, where we have a lot of matchups, and you can I think he's a guy that you can move around. You can play him on the outside. Maybe you put him on the slot against a bigger slot receiver. Maybe you match him up against tight ends at time. Put him at safety. He can play probably too high. He can play underneath. So there's a lot of things that he can do. He's got elite ball skills, which I think teams would absolutely love. He maybe isn't the best fluid in and out break type guy, so I think that's why he slides down a little bit. If he was 6'2" with this skill set, I think we're talking about maybe a late 1st-round pick. But because he's 5'10", he's under 6 foot, and he is that kind of cover 3 guy, I think that's where he best fits. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of the Film Room. I hope you enjoyed. The best way to get these is to subscribe, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all the notifications. While you're out there, make sure you're following me on social media, draft_Brian, whether it's whatever social media you have. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be. If you're on it, find draft_Brian for all my content. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time.